All right, my dear students, tonight's homework is page 75, and we're going to do 5 through 8. Please make sure that you are trying these problems on your own and then come look at these videos. We will have a quiz on tomorrow. All right, so it says in exercise 5 through 8, find the value of x and show your steps. So you have to show your work. So here are my parallel lines, and this is my transversal. Well, if we look at this angle is on the outside of the parallel line, and this angle is also on the outside of the parallel lines, and they're on opposite sides of the transversal. Then these are called alternate exterior angles. And guess what? They equal each other. So now we're going to use the rule that we know for solving equations. The variable stays on the left, and this constant has to move to the right. And since it's plus, you take the opposite sign, move it to the other side. So x equals, and you can use your mental math or you can use a calculator. I'm going to use mental math here. I know this is going to become 10. I know this breaks down to 0 right here, and it'll become 10 by borrowing from here. So we get 8. And then we get 10 minus 1 is 9. So x is equal to 98. Okay, if we look here, these are my parallel lines, and this is the transversal. Now, I'm in the inside of the parallel lines and on opposite sides of the transversal. So these are called alternate interior angles, and I am going to set them equal to each other. So 10x minus 55 equals 45. And you notice I did not keep the parentheses because there's no number out here, so I don't need to keep those parentheses. Now I'm going to draw my line. Constants go on the right side, variables and the coefficient stays on the left. So I need to move this minus 55 to the other side. If it's minus, then I add. Remember, you cross the line, you change the sign. So I'm going to plus 55. You can use your calculator here, or you can use mental math. So this becomes 100, and then we're going to divide. I need to get x away from 10, so I'm going to do the inverse operation of multiplication, which is division. So I divide both sides by 10, and x equals 10. Here you go. So let me write this down here. X equals 98. And here, x equals 10. This is the work I expect you to show, so make sure you are practicing how to solve these equations the way that I'm showing you. Okay, number 7. If you look here, here are my parallel lines, and here is the transversal. So I have 4x and the measure of angle 6. Well, these two are right next to each other, so they are called linear pairs if they're right next to each other. So here I'm going to say 4x plus the measure of angle 6 should equal 52. And if you notice here, I have two unknowns, so I have to find another way to figure this out. But here's what I do know, is the measure of angle 6 is on the right side of this parallel line, and so is the measure of angle. Well, this 52 right here is on the right side of the second parallel line. So I know that the measure of angle 6 is equal to 52, and these two do not plus and add to equal 52. They actually add to equal 180. That's called a linear pair. My bad. Linear pair. All right, so the measure of angle 6 equals 52, and that's called the corresponding angle. This angle is on the left of the parallel lines, and so is this. It's on the right of the parallel line, and so is this one on the right of the parallel line. All right, so now that I know the measure of angle 6, I can go and substitute it into here, and I can solve for x. So here I get 4x plus 52 equals 180. So now draw the line, and I'm going to go back in a second and make sure they didn't ask us to find the actual angle. You have to be careful with these questions. So right here, minus 52 Remember, the variables go on the left, the constants go on the right. Minus 52 from both sides, 4x equals, here I'm going to just do my mental math. I know this is going to be 10, this is going to be 7. You can use your calculator to double check yourself. And then here I'm going to divide by 4, and that is going to be 32. X equals 32. And let me run that back right quick in my head. That's 120 plus 8. Yep, 128. So we're good here, or you can use your calculator to divide. All right, let me make sure these questions are only asking us to solve for x, because it's only saying solve for x. Now you need to be careful, because if they say to find the angle, then you need to take this x and substitute it back in. The value that we found for x down here, you have to substitute it back in to get the angle if that's what it's asking for. All right, over here, these two angles here, to find the measure of angle 2, well, here's what we do know. We know that 2x minus 3 should equal the measure of angle 2, because they are vertical angles. But we have two unknowns, the x and the measure of angle 2. But if we look here, the measure of angle 2 is also on the inside of the transversal, and on the inside of these parallel lines right here, and they are on the same side of this transversal right here. Let me highlight that for you. Here goes the parallel lines, and here goes the transversal. So if we look here, then I can say that since they're on the same side of the transversal, then they are supplementary. So I can say the measure of angle 2 plus 153 is equal to 180. And these are called by the rule of same side of transversal. They're supplementary. So I'm going to get my little line, and I'm going to solve this equation. And since it's positive and I need to move the constant to the right side, and so I say the measure of angle 2 equals, this becomes 7, this is going to be a 7, so I get 27. So the measure of angle 2 is 27. You can use your calculator to do that math if you would like. All right, so next, I know the measure of angle 2, which is this, is 27. So now I'm going to say 2x minus 3 equals 27. So I'm going to go through here and do the math. Draw the line again. I'm going to say plus 3, and I'm saying plus this time because if I go to the other side, I cross over this line, I have to change the sign of the number that I'm moving. So this becomes 2x equals 30 over 2 over 2 x equals 15. And we are finished with both of these. And I'm going to write x equals 32 here. We're finished. So you go here and it only asks for x, so you're finished. Now if it wanted the measure of this angle, then you would need to substitute this x in and find what the measure of this actual angle is up here. Alrighty, my dear students, let me make sure I got it all. Yep, I did it all. So please make sure you can solve this stuff on your own. Don't just come watch these videos and copy this stuff down, because you will have a quiz and it will show up. So come hit me up, or you can go hit up one of the other math teachers so you can get the help that you need, and make sure you come in with questions. Coming in and saying, I don't get it, is not enough. You need to tell us exactly what you tried and where your problems are at. Okay, see you guys on tomorrow. Bye.